Africa. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching in the news this week on African Free Press Television, my name is Bridget Okudeli. A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed the application of the federal government seeking to compel the presence of the former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki, in court throughout his trial. In defiance of a previous court order, the State Security Service has refused to vacate the Abuja residence of Mr. Dasuki. The SSS has also placed him on restriction, laying siege to his Abuja home for more than 3 weeks and preventing him from traveling for medical treatment. The federal government, through the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Mohammed Duri, who filed the application, argued that Mr. Dasuki was wrong in law by staying away from court for 3 consecutive times as the case against him came up in court. The Nigerian Immigration Service says it requires about 5,000 personnel annually for the next 5 years to meet its manpower capacity. Mr. Abeshi said this on Thursday in Abuja when the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazao, visited the NIS as part of his familiarization tour of parastatals under his ministry. On the bot recruitment where some applicants lost their lives, the Controller General said the NIS was ready to conduct and absorb new officers as soon as it got directive from the federal government. He pledged to ensure professionalism in the service in line with the international best practices and the federal government change agenda. Mr. Abeshi disclosed that the Nigeria Immigration Service generated 19.4 billion naira between January and October 2015. The former Minister of Petroleum, Mrs. Denziani Alison Madueke, has vehemently denied allegations that a certain sister of hers had kids for the immediate past president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. She made this known in responding to questions by the Managing Director of Ovation magazine and the Boss newspaper, Mr. Dele Momodu, in London. She wondered why people should fabricate such blatant lies. The Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Amadou Gyadi, has retired from the agency after 10 years in the saddle of the agency. The chairman on Wednesday handed over to the Director General of the agency, Mrs. Rolu Bode George, in a parade at the Ikoyi headquarters, Lagos. Gyadi said he was leaving the agency better than he met it 10 years ago, adding that his greatest legacy was his zero tolerance for corruption. Mr. Gyadi also said for drug barons to be dislodged and drug eradication, Nigerians must maintain forthright and committed to drug control programs. The People's Democratic Party has kicked against the advice by the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, to the All Progressive Congress that the party can substitute its late candidate in the Kogi State governorship election. The PDP asked Mr. Malami to immediately vacate his office for harrying and misleading the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, into arriving at the decision. In a statement by the opposition's party spokesman, Olisa Metu, the party said it was shocked that INEC, a supposedly independent electoral umpire, could allow itself to succumb to the antics of the APC by following the unlawful directive of an obviously partitioned AGF to substitute a candidate in the middle of a ballot process. The electoral body had earlier said it would allow the APC to look for a candidate to fill the vacancy created by the death of Mr. Abubakar Awudu before supplementary elections that would hold on December 5th in 91 polling units where elections were cancelled. The South African government has threatened a jail term for Chris Oyakhilome if his church, Christ Embassy, fails to release its financial records. The Commission for the Promotion and Protection of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities said several religious leaders in the country could be jailed if they fail to comply with the demands of the Commission. The Commission said it was investigating the commercialization of religion and abuse of people's belief and had summoned several churches to appear before it with their ordination certificate, registration certificate, bank statements and annual financial statements from 2012. The Commissioner said the Commission had been forced to take a legal route because some of the church leaders had failed to comply with her Commission's directive. Turkey's President Recep Erdogan said on Thursday it does not owe Russia an apology for Tuesday's downing of a Russian fighter jet. He stressed that the Turkish pilots who did the shooting were only doing their job. Ankara claimed the plane crossed its airspace despite repeated warnings over a 5-minute period, while Moscow insists it was over Syrian territory at all times. Turkey is a major backer of Syrian rebels and has previously warned against Russia violations of its airspace. President Vladimir Putin had on Thursday criticized Turkey for not apologizing for downing a Russian Su-24 bomber near the Syrian border amid a growing spat between Moscow and Ankara. The Russian warplane was shot down by Turkish fighter jets on Tuesday as it returned from a mission in support of Syrian government forces. The Russian leader added that one got the impression that the Turkish leadership was deliberately steering Russian-Turkish relations into a dead end. He insisted that the incident ran counter to common sense and international law as the aircraft was shot down over Syrian territory. FIFA Vice President Michel Platini could be facing a life ban from football, according to his lawyer. The suspended UEFA chief is serving a 90-day suspension on corruption charges alongside outgoing FIFA President Sepp Blatter, while FIFA's adjudicatory committee considered its verdict. Platini's lawyer Taibao de Alès said the ethics investigators' excessive recommendations are a scandal. The adjudicatory committee intends to announce its verdict next month. The Frenchman is facing sanctions over a disloyal payment that saw Platini, 60, receive £1.35 million from Blatter, 79, in 2011 for consultation work done 9 years earlier. The pair, who are serving 19-day provisional bonds, have denied any wrongdoing but admitted there was no written contract. Those are the stories that made the headlines this week on African Free Press Television. For more stories, please log on to our website on www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press, like our Facebook page at African Free Press, join in our discussions on African Free Press Forum, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. I am Bridget Okudili.